Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special guest here, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself because I feel like you guys want to hear from her. So she'll tell us everything about everything, all of her secrets.
Hi, my name is Lauren Burks. I'm the owner and sole stylist of the Braid Bar of St. Augustine, which is where I am here in St. Augustine. I predominantly work in Jacksonville, all over St. Augustine, Palm Coast, all the way down to Daytona, lots of Savannah, North Carolina, but predominantly right around this area. And I've been doing it for about 4 years now, which is crazy to say. My background though is actually in marketing. I have a graphic design degree, and that is what I did for a very long time. So this is a second career for me. So I played college sports. So my whole life I've had really long hair, and in college volleyball we braid the fire out of our hair. So I've always been really good at tight, athletic looking braids, and then transitioned that into mom life. The question is, how long can I go without washing my hair? And so I became a mom, quit my marketing, graphic design, all that stuff, stayed home with the kids for a few years, and it just turned into freedom and fun and playing with hair. And I remembered back when I was younger, a lot of my friends would get married and I would do their hair for their wedding. Just beach curls, super simple. 15 years ago though, things have changed. So, but I saw that there was like a need. There was need for a specialty, you know, because it didn't seem like anybody did specialty bridal hair back then. And so I kind of always had that in the back of my head. And then fast forward to mom life, I wanted more. I wanted a career that I could be with my children, that didn't take me away from them too much, but that also I could use my artistic side and my creative side. And so that was kind of where it like came alive. I did a wedding for a friend, and didn't think anything of it. And then her wedding got published in Green Wedding Shoes. And from there I was getting phone calls to, you know, book weddings. And I was like, oh gosh, I need to go get a license if I'm gonna do this. And so I went and got a license and just started doing weddings. I mean, if you scroll through my Instagram way back when, my very first posts, it was friends in my living room. And I did so much free hair that it's, you know, just for practice. And so I was an addict to the art. I was up until 1 a.m. watching YouTube videos the night before weddings to make sure that I knew what I was doing when I showed up. And so I just really took pride in becoming an expert at what I did as quickly as possible, which just meant lots and lots and lots of free hair.
Yeah, and research.
And research, yes. Took lots of online classes. Heather Chapman, if you guys don't know about her, she's incredible. And she offers a subscription that you can literally watch for a whole month and binge on all of her techniques. But then I still would practice them even after watching it. And then Stephanie, who I mentioned before, she's incredible. Hair and Makeup by Steph on Instagram. Her looks just inspire me. Still to this day, I love her. And then I found a lot of support through Sarah Jane Maples with Blush and Mane. She's in Jacksonville. And I can't encourage anybody enough to just be bold. Instagram is an incredible tool and an incredible resource that we have that I didn't have when I was in marketing. And it was a lot of cold messaging and all that kind of stuff back in the day, but now it's so much more of a community. And I took a leap of faith and messaged her, and I had already been following her and liking all of her stuff and commenting underneath the ones that I thought were beautiful. And we just formed a relationship, and I went up there and she did my hair. She styled my hair. I was one of her hair models. And we just became friends, and she just pours so much life into me. And now I've found this incredible group of people that all over the place that just do nothing but encourage and support and rally up behind each other.
Aw, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel, so before I met her, everybody just talked so highly about Lauren. And one of the things that really encouraged me to just cold message her on Instagram, exactly what I did to her, is I feel that she doesn't see anybody as a competition. Mm-hmm. It's mostly like she would uplift people, like especially women. I mean, we work with a lot of women, so I think that's amazing. Sometimes I need it.
Yeah, we all need it. We all need it.
So she's amazing. And so if there is one thing that you can share with us, as far as like, what is your number one tip if you were talking to somebody that was just going into bridal hair, what's the number one thing that you would like to share with everybody?
Don't be too cool. Don't be too cool to say yes to things that maybe seem like beneath you. Or if you have been in the hair industry for a while but you want to branch out into another area, you're going to have to do a lot of freestyle shoots, and you're going to have to do a lot of free work. And I just considered that education. That was how I looked at it. And I also cannot speak more highly of finding people that you can surround yourself with. I have another business, and in that other business, it really ignited a passion in me to uplift and to support and to rally behind other people in their dreams. Because if we live in that scarcity mentality, like there's not enough business and like, oh, she stole this person, that definitely is projected throughout the community, and that's going to create toxic environments where we are not doing our best work, and our brides are going to feel that. Mm-hmm. People aren't going to want to work with you. And, if a client goes with someone else, like, they just weren't your client.
That's fine, yeah. And they're not, you just didn't mesh well with that person.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And you definitely need to know your worth. There's no one else like you. And I could teach you all the tricks that I do in the world, but you're going to do a head of hair and I'm going to do a head of hair. And it's always going to look different, and that's the beauty of it. It's art. I think that's why I'm thankful for my art background. When I do it, I look at it and I go, look at that piece of art that just happened, So, yeah, don't be too cool. Always say yes. Always grow. Never stop reading all the books. Never stop watching all the videos. Never think that you've arrived, because you never have.
Yes, exactly. And also one thing that I wanted you to share with us, because we did before we started recording, what is it that you require if you have somebody that inquired about bridal hair with you? Mm-hmm. What is it? That's one thing that you usually tell them.
Yeah. So at this point, and I really was kind of like this from the get-go. You kind of have to embrace growing slow if you want to have the right client that fits well with you. And for me, I wanted someone who valued my work, who chose me because they saw what I did. That's why I believe Instagram and your website is very important, to keep it accurate and keep your work quality. And so when they reach out to me, they immediately get my pricing sheet and then book. And I don't do trials to book. So you either want me or you don't. And so once you book me, I'm happy to do phone calls. Like if people want to get to know my personality, like that's totally fine. If they want to meet for coffee, love that.
That's good too, because I don't even do that.
Yeah.
Meeting for coffee. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely understand wanting to know who's going to be doing, on the wedding day, does their personality mesh well with mine? Because that's just as important. So then they book me, and then after that, we start talking trials. I will not book without a trial. I do that for the bride. I did it in the beginning where they didn't have to have a trial, and I just saw the anxiety, and I saw the just the anxiousness that it could cause someone on their wedding day. And so I decided that for their benefit, I would not do it without a trial. I also believe that there's something called wedding day magic that happens, and every single wedding, if I could record it, I should. After I finish the bride's hair, they say, oh my gosh, it turned out better than the trial. And I say, it's because we had that trial. It's because I had that practice. And so with that, I require a trial. And then when I first started, and I would encourage you to do this if it brings you peace and if it means that you're going to do better styles on the wedding day, there's nothing wrong with sending them, they need to bring 3 looks for inspiration on their phone. I take the extra step and I send them where to go. I send them to Heather Chapman, I send them to Stephanie Burkhoff, I send them to my Instagram account. I send them to several, so that way they have a lot to choose from, because we all know Pinterest is nothing but extensions. It's nothing but coarse hair that does anything you want it to do. And the average client has fine hair, all one length, or whatnot. So we've got to set them up for success by preparing them to look at styles that are of real women, not just hair models, which is what I've found a lot of Pinterest is. And I can take inspiration from that, but I still want them to bring me 3 looks so that I can find out, what do you like about this look? You know, what are some things that you really have to have in order to feel comfortable? Oh, well, I'm a little self-conscious about my ears. Great, we'll cover up your ears. Well, I really have to have pieces around my face. Wonderful. We'll build backwards. We'll leave it all down and then we'll build backwards. Make sure you have enough around your face that you're comfortable. So
I think that's amazing. I feel the same way too. Before we started with not doing trial, like it's optional, but now, I mean, I've had to say yes and no to clients. And did you have to do the same?
Absolutely.
You've had to
lost
refer
some
them.
clients, I'm sure. Yeah.
Because you felt like the look that they're looking for was not your style, you think?
Honestly, it never got that far. It was an inquiry. It was a pricing sheet. What's the next step? The next step is to book. And they booked.
Okay.
And once they booked, then we talked about trials. I also don't do trials farther than 3 months out. So I don't do trials 6 months out or 8 months out because they always change their mind. And then they've wasted their money. They've wasted their trial if they change their mind. Makeup's a little bit different. I think makeup's one of those ones where they're not going to really want to change their makeup according to what dress they get or according to their flowers or if they want a hairpiece. Whereas hair oftentimes can change a lot over time because maybe they bought a dress or they changed their mind or they want their back to show now. And so I don't ever want them showing up. And it happens. It still happens every once in a while, and it's not the end of the world. But for that bride that is super indecisive, I am very firm that we do your trial between 2 to 3 months out, so that you have the best experience possible. You know, like you want to walk in that morning going, I am amped. I know exactly what I'm going to look like. I'm so pumped.
Yes.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, I feel like I've talked your ear off enough. So.
And thank you so much for having me. And I'm pretty sure all of our friends have learned a thing or two, because I know I learned a thing or two from you. And I'm grateful that you have the time for me this morning.
Oh gosh.
And
what an honor.
if you want to know more about Lauren, I am going to link all of her information down below. I'll have her website, I'll have her Instagram, and she's very active in her Instagram. I'm pretty sure if you ask her a question, she'll answer you.
Yeah.
And she is awesome at everything. I mean, everything that I've seen her do, like she said, it's perfection. And so go get inspiration from her. And if you have any questions, like I said, leave your questions down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up and share this video. Bye. All right.